Coach. It's nice to meet you. It's Aya Abdeen for the 9450. Can you talk to me about Candace Parker's briefly retirement? She'll be getting her jersey number retired by the Sparks today, and then she'll have another one against the Aces in August.
I mean, obviously, she's a player that I think kind of changed the league in regards to style of play. You know, a point forward, multi-dimensional offensive and defensive player. Similarly to how Steph Curry in the Golden State Warriors changed how people viewed the three ball. They kind of transformed the game. I think Candace had a similar effect on the women's game so far as, bigs being able to handle, bigs being able to shoot, pick and roll and all that stuff. So well-deserved. She's one of the best competitors this league has ever seen. Yeah, and super happy for her. She deserves her jersey in every rafter that she played in. She's just that good.
What becomes critical for you and your club against a team that's obviously shooting the ball very, very well, spreading the defense, getting to the rim, but really loving that long distance shot? What's critical for you guys today?
Obviously we have to defend the 3-point line with a sense of urgency. I think just making their looks as difficult as we can, because they can get hot and they're going to make some difficult ones. And I think you have to have a next play mentality and just try to be as disruptive early as you can so that they don't get settled in and really get that confidence and that flow going. Similar to Golden State, I think, they don't change the way they play. And we used to say this all the time, up 20 or down 20, you're always in the game because they're going to keep playing how they play. And I look at them very similarly. They're going to keep shooting threes. They're going to keep being who they are. So stay the course and try to sustain, some of their runs and make adjustments as quickly as possible so we can learn how to quit the bleeding if they do start to go on those runs.
Becky, with the shooters they have around them, how do you contain a player like Alyssa Thomas that attracts so much attention in the middle?
Again, we're going to go in with a little bit different game plan than we've had in the past. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we'll see how it works out. But she's playing at a really elite level right now, and she's just slicing and dicing defenses. I think it's imperative to try to stay one-on-one as much as possible because when you put two on her, she just kills you with the pass. She becomes really dangerous when she gets all those other pieces. When she's in the, 10 plus assist category, it really becomes problematic for a defense because she's just getting everybody else involved.
What becomes critical for you offensively today? I know you were quoted earlier a couple of weeks ago saying, "I don't want to coach effort."
Mm-hmm.
That part's on you. I'll coach everything else. But
I can
not
give you all
effort.
the X's and O's all day, but I can't give you the heart and hustle.
Heart component, and is it getting to where you need it to be, and then kind of taking it a different direction? What becomes critical offensively for you guys?
Well, we just want to be competitive for 40 minutes. The other day, I thoroughly enjoyed watching our fourth quarter against Washington, and I thoroughly hated watching the first three quarters. So, more consistency, more effort, more of a sense of urgency from the very jump. The league's too good to have these quarters where you give up 28, 29, 30 points in a quarter. So we know we have to get it done on the defensive end. That gives us our best shot at winning, which will help offensively what we have to do. Easier opportunities. Also, we, not having to go against a half court set defense all night because we're taking it out of the net is helpful with the offense. But we're getting better. I see strides in the right direction, which keeps me super optimistic. But spreading them out, I think, hard rolls and screening, if we do those things and share and take care of the ball is a huge issue. We give ourselves a good chance.
Becky, we've seen, especially when you had Kelsey using her to screen a lot for the bigs, whether it be inverted or just get to post. You're doing a lot with Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
We see it here in Phoenix a lot with Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
You just talk about the value and kind of functionality and even advantage creation, the small screening for your bigs also.
Yeah, well, everybody you just listed are really great shooters, so they clearly understand what it takes to get open. They understand that when they set good screens, something good is going to happen, probably for them. I mean, it's screening is a basic principle in basketball because it creates a mathematical advantage for yourself. So when that happens, typically the screener gets open. And if not, Asia Wilson's getting a layup. So you got to pick your poison. But Sammy's the same way. I mean, if you stay a second too long, she's had such a quick trigger. She makes you pay. So you can't be late. You got to be early, high pickup points, and be disruptive early as much as possible with these guys.
Have you seen Liz Kidley develop this year?
Yeah, it's better every time.
Anyone else in the room before we go to Zoom?
Just one, are you satisfied with your team rebounding?
No, not satisfied with a lot right now. I mean, we've had some, Megan being injured, then Asia going out. We've been playing some very small ball. So it is what it is. Honestly, in the past few years, we've done a lot of small ball, probably more than anybody else, but rebounding has never been a problem. So, as you know, rebounding isn't always about size. It helps, but it's more about early position and a mindset to go get the ball. And we got to be scrappers. We talk about, gang girl rebound, meaning all 5 bodies on the floor got to be in pursuit of the ball, and we got to be hitting bodies, and then, cleaning up our defensive possession. But yeah, the stats this year are something I try to avoid because it puts me in a bad mood. A lot of them, a lot of stats.
All right, we'll go to Zoom. We'll start with Callie. Callie?
Coach, it seemed like frustrations were high after that loss to the Mystics. Like you mentioned, you were frustrated by seeing greatness and flashes, and then some of the players were saying they were frustrated by the repetitiveness. Like it's the same thing every game. What's key to, I guess, channeling those frustrations? And especially now, it's like you've had a few days to maybe talk it through, work it through. Like, how do you guys navigate that as a team?
I think we're losing games in pockets. We'll come out maybe decent, but then we'll have a 4 or 5 minute stretch where the wheels come off. And in those stretches, it's, a 17-point run or a, 20 to 8-point run. And you really have to try to avoid those little mini collapses. But I was mad at our defense the whole time because, we gave up 29, 24, and 26. We don't have enough time offensively to make up that kind of offense. So defensively, we know we need to keep people under 80, and then that gives us a pretty good chance to win.
Thanks. We'll go to Brooke.
Hey, Coach. Brooke Leonard in Virginia. I covered Virginia Tech and Liz at Virginia Tech. Can you elaborate just a little bit more? You said Liz is getting better every time. How do you hope to see her kind of grow and move and find a role on this team?
She's a young player coming off a pretty serious ACL injury. So just as much as anybody, whether you're the first pick or wherever you are in the draft, or maybe you're undrafted, there is a growth stage with the size and athleticism of the WNBA. So, I think posts sometimes take a little bit longer to develop, but she puts in her work. She was an incredible college player, and, she's somebody who has a definite offensive skill set. And so right now, learning the league, and especially defensively, learning and understanding angles and guarding space is something that she's going to have to continue to learn to turn herself into a really great pro. She's smart and she's willing to put in the work. So I think, she has a very bright future. But, for us right now, I'm harping on the defensive end, and, I've had conversations with her that I want her defense to get better, and it will. And I think it's something she's concentrated on and focused on, and, will continue to get better. But when you're 6'6", and you got to learn how to navigate space against faster, bigger, just as big players, which is probably a new adjustment for her, because typically in college, she's probably always the biggest player on the court. So we have to learn new ways to, grow and keep getting better.
Thanks, Coach.
Last question. Machias.
Oh, I didn't hear the name. Sorry about that. Quick one from me, Coach. The Mercury field unique not just in the amount of players that they have that can space the floor, but how they get into their spacing. Like, what kind of challenges have you seen from Phoenix's offense, or what kind of stands out to you on the spacing front from them?
Well, one of the biggest challenges, they have a giant point guard um, with shooters all around. So that immediately, uh, is a problem. So, like I said, you got to guard one-on-one as best you can. Because as soon as you bring two, similar to like a Minnesota, as soon as you bring two, the ball is gone and you're in rotations. So we have to have a lot of individual pride with what we're doing, understand the scout, and understand that they have some quick triggers. Laxa, I mean, my goodness, the ball's gone before it touches her hands. And you could go down the list, Sammy. I mean, there's just shooters everywhere. So making those shots difficult, as well as, I think when the ball starts popping, they become very dangerous. I mean, they break you down one area and it's a swing three. But they really have a group of women that have bought into Nate's system, and they're seeing a lot of benefits from sharing the ball and having that spacing and shooting. And ultimately, I know Nate gave all of them the green light. So that makes every player very dangerous, honestly.